98.3 FM and 1340 AM KIHR and GorgeRadio.com presents the Mid-Columbia Today Show with Mark Bailey. Special thanks to our sponsors, Skyline Hospital, Eastside Paving, and Del Carpine Automotive. Now, here's Mark Bailey.
And good morning. It is 8:05. I'm Mark Bailey. Thanks to Cameron for filling in on the news today, and he will be with you all week on Mid-Columbia Mornings next week as I take my leave for a little while, and Marty Dane will sit in here and do the hosting on MCT. This morning, what we're going to do, Klickitat County Commission race. We've got our third candidate to join us. Gene Klejeski is going to join us here in a few moments. We'll talk to him about why he's running for Klickitat County Commission, the primary that ballots are about to come out, coming up for the August 4th primary. Second half of the show, if you were with us Monday, you know, Mondays are Mondays, and the Gremlins got in on Monday. Not sure at which end of the phone conversation they got into, whether it was at our end or at Mid-Columbia Center for Living. But Kalyn Sherwood, we were talking to her, and she dropped out twice, and the second time we couldn't get her back at all. So we're going to try it again on a different phone number for her, and we will talk about their child and family behavioral health services. Because we were really just getting into things, and then the phones became unreliable at some end. So that's what we got on Mid-Columbia today this morning. But first, as we always do, let's tell you a little bit about what this day has meant and what it means at least to a few people. In 1790, a site along the Potomac River was designated the permanent seat of the U.S. government. The area would become Washington, D.C. 1945, the U.S. exploded its first experimental atomic bomb in the desert of Alamogordo, New Mexico. The same day, the heavy cruiser USS Indianapolis left Mare Island Naval Shipyard in California on a secret mission to deliver atomic bomb components to Tinian Island in the Marianas. 1951, the novel The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger was first published by Little Brown and Company. 1957, Marine Corps Major John Glenn set a transcontinental speed record by flying a Vought F-8U Crusader jet from California to New York in 3 hours, 23 minutes, and 8.4 seconds. 1969, Apollo 11 blasted off from Cape Kennedy on the first manned mission to the surface of the moon. 1999, John F. Kennedy Jr., his wife Carolyn, and her sister Lorianne Bissett died when their single-engine plane piloted by Kennedy plunged into the Atlantic Ocean near Martha's Vineyard. Speaking of Martha, 2004, Martha Stewart sentenced to 5 months in prison and 5 months of home confinement by a federal judge in New York for lying about a stock sale. And in 2015, a jury in Centennial, Colorado, convicted James Holmes of 165 counts of murder, attempted murder, and other charges in the 2012 Aurora movie theater rampage that left a dozen people dead. Our days for today is World Snake Day today, and this is a day to clear up misconceptions about snakes, who tend to get a bad rap, actually, but a very important part of our ecosystem. It is Get to Know Your Customers Day today, which really, if you're in the customer service business, you ought to be doing every day anyway. It's Guinea Pig Appreciation Day, or I suppose I should call it Cavy Appreciation Day. That's what they call them at the fair. I had one of those as a little kid. I loved it. It was great. They are very lovely little animals. It is National Atomic Veterans Day today. This dates back, of course, to the first experimental atomic bomb. And it's Rural Transit Day today. We salute those who are involved in getting people in our rural areas to and from. Our food for today, it's National Fresh Spinach Day today. I'm hearing the Popeye tune now as I say it. I'm strong to the finish because I eat me spinach. And that is, by the way, the linguistics he used were not proper grammar. It's National Corn Fritter Day today, if you're into that. But we save the best for last because it really is, for this area, very important. It's National Cherry Day today, so go get yourself some local cherries from the Gorge. Your orchardist nearby would appreciate it. And they're good, too. So there you go, for what it's worth. May not be a whole lot, but I think the cherry thing actually is. It is near 8:10 in the morning. We'll come back, talk Klickitat County with Gene Klejeski after this.
The threat of wildfire poses a growing risk to Oregonians, and recent wildfires have provided some important lessons. You can prepare now by taking 3 important steps. Step 1. Contact your insurance company to make sure you have the right amounts and types of coverage. Step 2. Create a home inventory by taking photos or videos of your possessions in each room of your home. Step 3. Gather and make copies of important identifying and financial documents. Store them in the cloud or another secure location. These 3 actions can help you and your community be more resilient in the face of wildfire. Be wildfire ready by being insurance ready. Visit dfr.oregon.gov/prepare now to learn how. This message brought to you by the Oregon Division of Financial Regulation, the Oregon Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
Mid-Columbia Today is a public affairs program of Bicoastal Media Columbia River, 98.3 FM and 1340 AM KIHR and GorgeRadio.com. Now, back to Mark Bailey.
It is 8:12 in the morning. We are going to continue along the Klickitat County primary election trail. We're almost done doing that. Gene Klejeski is going to be with us, Klickitat County Commission candidate. Good morning, Gene.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming in. We appreciate it.
Long-time listener, and thank you for inviting me.
Well, thank you for accepting the invitation to come in and talk to the people who listen to this show. First of all, Gene, our traditional opening question. The introduction, just for those who aren't familiar, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I was born in Minnesota, so I'm not a Washington State native. When I was 12 years old, my dad and mom moved us to Kennewick, Washington, where I finished growing up, and it was a really great place to finish growing up. As I went to community college later in years, a good friend of mine in 1986 invited me to the Glenwood Rodeo, and then I had went to visit. I could never figure out why he went home every weekend from Tri-Cities until I drove into the Goldendale and then into the valley and understood what a great place Klickitat County is. And then a few months later, he invited me to climb to the top of the Mount Adams. So then that's really when I fell in love with the county and the people of this area. But I was a carpenter by trade, not a logger. So eventually, 2001, I was able to buy a piece of property up above Lytle Grade and built a house with my father. Then I've been in the county full-time 18 years. When I moved here in 2008, the economy took a bit of a tumble, so I took up a job doing propane with Kearns Propane, and got to know people in the community on the east side, Bickleton, and as far as Glenwood. Then I became the Klickitat County Building Inspector 10 years ago, where I really got to branch out and meet the great people, the great citizens in the community, and they're just awesome. They gave me as a new inspector, I had some big shoes to fill, and they all gave me a great deal of grace.
Why do you want to run for Klickitat County Commission?
Being under the umbrella of the last 10 years, when I first started, the previous commissioners, when I first started, were great. The enthusiasm under the county buildings, everybody seemed to just be at peace and really work. As time passed and different commissioners changed hands, of course COVID didn't help. You could see a turn. The day I went in to fill out my application to register to be on the ballot, I was amazed to see how many people were excited for me as I was entering into the race. But how do I want to say it? I know it's going to come with some trials. As an inspector, I've had many, driving both ends of the county during snowstorms and dealing with people who are upset when you fill out a correction notice, and trying to calm them down, and at final when they are anxious to move in, and I tell them we need a few more items for fire life safety before they can move in.
Some of what you alluded to here sounded like it was morale within the county and within the employees. And I guess the question I would have is how much of that would be commission related, and how much might just be budget and finance related? Because it's always stressful when any sort of organization is dealing with fiscal issues.
Well, as I've been under the umbrella, like I was saying, for the last 10 years, from what I have noticed, our taxes keep going up, and people that are working in the county just don't feel appreciated. I mean, I myself it's just not a building inspector duty that I do. I do plan review, I help out, answer phone. I mean, not complaining, it's just what we do when, there's shortfalls and different things. So hopefully, just appreciation, and tell people in the county under that umbrella that they're doing a good job once in a while, instead of just, we're going to cut your, not give you an incentive or whatever. So I just feel that, just attaboys,
Yeah. Moving aside from that particular issue, what do you feel is the biggest issue the county has?
My experience being out every day in the public, or in the community, I should say, talking with people, and this is long before I decided to run for commissioner. But the people being taxed, many people, I mean a great deal of people, are on fixed incomes, and they're doing projects, and then as they get close to completion, they realize that how much the property tax is going to be, and some people are looking at they may have to sell and leave because of that. And I was with that hoping to figure out solutions, so we're not putting the squeeze on the people or I should say the citizens of the county. Try to find other ways to bring in revenue to help offset. And I understand the state of Washington, a lot of that is out of our control, but if there was other avenues.
Do you have possibilities in your mind for other avenues of revenue? I mean, of course, the landfill revenues have dropped down, which has kind of led them into the current fiscal situation. And
I know I was at the BOCC meeting for public speak, where people could call in and talk. And I mean, my concern is I drive by the landfill quite a bit, and I see how tall it is, and it's been in our county for many years. It's provided great jobs. My fear is at some point it's not going to be there. So we just need to figure out, try to be proactive, try to entice businesses to come to our county. We do have the Dallasport Industrial Park, the airport. I toured that probably a month ago. Did not realize that there was about 900 acres of that airport, which is pretty much the size of SeaTac. So I mean, we have a great deal of land, and I think if we can manage whoever, get ahead of it, I guess is what I want to say, figure out a plan and try to entice and bring people into this great county.
Coming off of that, do you think the county should be having a lead role in attracting businesses itself? I mean, it's one thing to create the regulatory environment and maybe the land use environment for business, but it's another thing to be maybe the group that is actually trying to sell the county.
Well, I mean, I've lived in many areas throughout my time before I settled, and it always seemed like different areas where I lived, it always seemed like they were reaching, trying to figure out how to bring in some kind of somebody to come in. So, I don't know how to get there, but I think it should be something that we should try to figure out.
Public safety, of course, has been discussed at the county commission over the last few years a number of times, most notably how much can you fund public safety, again, with the financial situation. Do you feel like the county has done enough in that regard, especially in when we start speaking especially about the sheriff's office?
So because I've been here a while and I know with the previous sheriff before the sheriff we have now, it seemed like they could have done a better job at maybe directing their funds. And I'm friends with many of the deputies, and I see them working overtime, and a lot of them are, not everybody likes to work overtime. Years ago when I was coming up through the trades, I missed many things with my families.
Overtime also tends to be expensive on the budget.
Yes. So it doesn't make sense to me to try to approve overtime when you could probably have a deputy or two hired on that would offset that cost.
Do you think there are steps the county can take? And again, there's a sheriff's election going on here at the same time. So in some ways, there are some things that have been occurring that probably change just from transition, whoever it is.
I would hope so. I would hope that whoever's elected would.
But where I was going to was, what do you feel like the commission can do to improve relations? I mean, because it's always a two-way street.
Well, if I was elected commissioner, I myself always run a tight budget at home, and I would, before any funds or any levies scare me to death, and most people that I bring it up to out in the community don't want a levy. So I would hope that they would be able to streamline their budget like everybody else as the electeds in our county buildings would be able to do, and then really show us the bottom line where they are cutting and in fact what they really need, and just streamline any waste, like what we've had to do with other departments.
I mentioned economic development. I did neglect the kind of the issue du jour right now at the county level, which is the preparing for data center applications, because I think the theory is you hear a lot of rumors. It appears in Klickitat County there are a ton of rumors on this.
Yes.
But there has been nothing formally filed at this point. What do you think the county should be considering when it comes to the issues that data centers bring?
I guess for me, we have what they want. We have land and, like the push pump, water storage, and the aluminum plant. The infrastructure's there. It's something that we have that they can utilize. And the Dallasport one right now does just seem to be a rumor. But
it makes sense, though, if you're going to get these eventually, or you're going to get applications, I should say.
Right. And I think it's because we really hold, I hate this term, hold the cards, that we should be very, very wise, make sure whatever they offer us, that we look to our children and grandkids' future. That, how do I want to say it, that they're going to build this, they're going to have their people come in, and then they're going to leave, and then we're going to be stuck seeing it. And there is no guarantee with Olympia that we're going to get a really big tax kickback from that. We have seen that with the solar up on Knight Road, where the way it worked, the county, it went to the state and not so much the county.
Yeah.
So that's my fears with the data centers, with all the speculation that they're coming in. how are we going to be able to actually benefit and not let those funds just kind of go through our hands and us just stuck looking at.
Yeah, we got a couple minutes left here. I'm going to go to a different topic here a little bit, and that is relating to the citizens. One thing I know and I don't catch every Klickitat County Commission meeting, but I log on to some of them. Haven't done as much this year, but a couple of years ago I was having to log on to all of them. And one thing I do, it stands out to me different from other counties I cover, is that a lot of people call into these county commission meetings, which I don't see at other level in Wasco or Hoover County at all. And information seems to be difficult to get out and to get consistent. A lot of stuff runs rampant, so part of it's the social media era. How do you think the county should work to get accurate information to people?
Hopefully I don't get in trouble for saying this. As somebody who works up on the third floor, I don't always know what's going on either. And a lot of us in the county building. But as the building inspector, I've made contact with so many people, and I feel it's important to maintain that relationship with people. Maybe a newsletter or something easy for older non-techie people like myself to be able, to either find on a website or something. But yeah, I myself would love to be able to pinpoint spots, Wishram and Dallasport and Trout Lake and even Bickleton and Alderdale. Try to touch base with people periodically.
One more little thing we probably should have mentioned, because everybody wants their road done. It doesn't matter what county you're in, everybody wants their road fixed. But prioritizing public works and roads, where do you come down on that?
I think, public works, I have many friends who work in that department. I feel they're a huge asset. Now, do things need work? Always, but the people that I see working, and they put in long hours, they work, to keep our roads plowed in the wintertime and do chip seal or whatever. And it just seems, I drive those roads every day, each day about 150 miles, round trip.
That's a lot of roads.
Yeah, and we split the county. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm in West End, and Tuesday, Thursday, I'm in the East End.
I assume you have to, given how big this county is.
Yes, and it is great to see so many things in between. It is great to be able to drive one end in the trees and the mountains and how beautiful, and then you're out in the great vineyards and different things. But no, I think as long as we can just keep moving forward, and I keep driving the roads, and I see 5-6 miles here and there that have been updated, and eventually we'll get it all completed.
Gene Klejeski's been with us, running Klickitat County Commission. Gene, thanks for doing this. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
And thanks for listening, by the way.
You're very welcome.
You told me you've listened for a long time, so I need to get that in also. We appreciate all our listeners.
And I will continue even after this. Thank you.
Now that you've learned what it's like at the other end when you're if you're a politician on this show. 8:30 in the morning. Thanks to Gene for being here. We'll be back after this.
Gorge homeowners, is your old AC costing you more than a new one would? If your system is over 15 years old, the answer is probably yes. A new energy-efficient AC from Sky Heating, AC, Plumbing, and Electrical means lower utility bills. Plus, Sky technicians make the whole process easy, from a free home assessment to same-day quotes. With financing available and HVAC system payments as low as $119 a month, there's no reason to put it off. Schedule now at skyheating.com. CCB number 245538.
Sky Heating, AC, Plumbing, and Electrical. The nominations are in and finalists have moved to the voting round for Best of the Gorge 2026. Visit bestofthegorge.com and vote for your favorites. Find a full list of campaign categories and finalist names to select from at bestofthegorge.com. Vote for as many as you want, once a day, every day. It's easy and you'll help your favorites win the title of Best of the Gorge 2026. Voting ends July 29th, so vote today at bestofthegorge.com.
Coffee for Mid-Columbia Today guests is provided by Hood River Coffee Roasters, the Gorge's local coffee roasters, on Tucker Road on the Heights in Hood River.
8:32 in the morning. Checking what's in the news, Wasco County Commissioners selected Roger Nichols to fill the remainder of the term of the late Phil Brady. Nichols, a longtime print and broadcast journalist who is currently in the midst of his second stint representing Wasco County on the Glen River Gorge Commission, will serve the final 6 months in Brady's term. Commissioner Jeff Justison made the nomination. The chair, Scott Hagee, seconded, noting it was important to get a third person to represent the county's citizens. He said Nichols has a history of attending commission meetings as a journalist, someone who looks at facts, and has his finger on the pulse of many things. Nichols said while he had volunteered, the appointment was unexpected. He told the commission he would work to do the same things Brady would have done. Nichols added he has no intention of being a candidate for the post in November. Wasco County Commissioners decided to proceed on the proposed Oak Ranch RV Park west of the Dalles. The county has a $1 million grant from the Oregon Parks and Recreation Department for the project with a required $884,900 match by the county. The county has 4 estimates in hand, depending on how many amenities they want to include, which range from just under the total grant and match amount to $2.5 million. Commission's moving to accept the grant, committing themselves to the minimum match, while authorizing staff to negotiate a final construction contract to bring back for their approval. Hagee says his main concern is around the operation of the park, noting this is a new venture for the county. He also hopes to make the full 159-acre property the county purchased 4 years ago more available for enjoyment by the public. Washington tribes and environmental organizations, including Columbia River Keepers, sued the federal government, arguing their recent changes to Endangered Species Act rules defy scientific research and pave the way for destruction of important wildlife habitat. The Washington State Standard reports 2 separate lawsuits filed in U.S. District Court in Western Washington challenge the Trump administration's decision to rescind the legal definition of the word harm as used under the Endangered Species Act. A new report from the Oregon Wine Board shows total wine grape production fell 25% in 2025 compared to 2024. The report also found export sales dropped 29%, including an 83% decline in exports to Canada. The downturn comes after the Oregon wine industry generated an estimated $8.5 billion for the state economy in 2024, according to the Oregon Wine Board. Slowing consumer demand has caused a glut in the wine market, and wineries are seeing fewer out-of-state visitors. Those are a couple of factors leading to the drop. Another industry leaders point to shifting public health messaging influencing consumer behavior. Current temperatures at this time in the Gorge, we can tell you that in Stevenson it's 59, in the Dalles it's 67, Hood River 63, 8:35 in the morning. Kalyn Sherwood, Mid-Columbia Center for Living is next.
Head to DripDrop.
Here at Columbia Bank, we're proud to be serving the Gorge. We understand the unique needs of our businesses and agricultural communities and are proud supporters of youth sports and many other community programs throughout our area. Stop by or visit us online at columbiabank.com. Columbia Bank, member FDIC.
Have you been thinking about getting a new car? Aaron here from Columbia Gorge Toyota and Honda, your home team dealer. We invite you to come take a test drive and experience the no-problem way to purchase a vehicle. We are proud sponsors of Hood River Valley Athletics. Go Eagles!
Hey, it's Zach from Del Carpino Automotive, where we specialize in keeping European rides happy. Audi, BMW, Mercedes, and even those tall Sprinter vans that look like hotels on wheels. We know them inside and out. And if you're wondering where we went, we didn't go far. We're just now 5 minutes from our old shop in our brand new location in the Upper Hood River. Same trusted crew, more space, and the same honest, family-owned service. Come see us at Del Carpino Automotive. European expertise and Columbia Gorge roots.
Mid-Columbia Today is a public affairs program of Bicoastal Media Columbia River, 98.3 FM and 1340 AM KIHR and GorgeRadio.com. Now, back to Mark Bailey.
8:39 in the morning on Mid-Columbia Today. We welcome back to the show, and hopefully we're going to have a better luck this time with the phones. Kalyn Sherwood Kalyn Sherwood, I guess Kalyn, right?
Yep, you got it.
Okay, Kalyn Sherwood, Mid-Columbia Center for Living Child and Family Behavioral Health Manager. Welcome back.
Thanks so much.
And we were talking about with you the agency's child and family behavioral health programs. Maybe one more time for those who weren't with us on Monday, what your department does.
Yeah, absolutely. We are running all the programs for kids in all 3 counties that Center for Living covers. So out to Sherman County, all of Wasco County, and Hood River. So we have what you think of as typical therapy with our outpatient. We also have PCIT, parent-child interactive therapy, which is for our kids under 8. We have parenting classes. We have a wraparound program. We have drug and alcohol counseling. We have our intensive community-based services. We run a drop-in. We're running groups. We're doing lots of things to keep kids busy and engaged and safe.
I know when we started having the problems with the phone connection, we were just getting to the wraparound services that you have. And I think you had mentioned before the connection went away that this is one of the things that you really are proud of there.
Yeah, I wish I could take credit. It's not my idea, but it's a really great program in that so often we think about kids being in a school and lots of things, but they have a lot of programs that have sort of a touch on what's going on in their life, and that can be really helpful, but that can also be really challenging to navigate for kids and for their parents, especially if there's very many complications. So one of the things that I really like about the wraparound program is that it's bringing to the table any professionals, any systems that this kid might be involved in. So that could be something like being in the foster care system, certainly, but also if they have medical needs or their special education teacher or their regular education teacher. So really kind of getting their, potentially their doctor and their special education teacher and their therapist and their parent and even the kids themselves, if they're old enough to participate, to literally sit down and work through goals so that they're literally on the same page. So really just helping these kids not have separate goals for all these different, you don't want them to have one goal with their teacher and one goal with their therapist and one goal with their doctor. They start to get overwhelmed pretty quick and just it's a recipe to just fail at all the goals. So they work to kind of prioritize those as a group and have everybody focus on the same goals at the same time, hopefully helping those kids be set for a more likely success.
Is it difficult to get all the parties to agree on the goals? I'd be curious on that.
That part, I think, is not actually as hard as trying to get everybody there. Schedules are tight and busy, so that's usually the hardest part of it. But our care coordinators are just really good at bringing everybody to the table, and we have a bit of agenda that helps sort of set that. We're going to identify strengths of these kids and then kind of identify some of the challenges. So it also sets it up to be in a really strengths-based mindset. And I think that helps already start aligning people's ideas. And it really helps give the kids a voice. You may set a goal for me, but if I'm not interested in it, good luck trying to get me motivated to accomplish that thing. So also trying to do some things to get the kids buy-in on these same things as well. And I think that is one of the most successful parts of this, obviously, is helping the kids have buy-in to a goal so they're actually motivated to be working on it.
I would think, because you mentioned strengths, I would think it's awful important that strengths do get emphasized, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Just for a child.
We just have such a tendency to identify problems, work on problems, and then move to the next problem. And so that can often really be a heavy focus in our language, and that is, that's pretty destructive for kids to only hear the problems they're having and not necessarily a longer conversation about their strengths, the things that they do well, their own resiliency, and that can really put that motivation into the kids being willing to take on a challenge. If they just are already identifying all the problems, then the kids are like, well, I guess I'm just a screw-up and I'm not even going to try. So that leaning into the strengths, which philosophically, I think everybody can get behind. I think we're just a culture that is really good at identifying problems, coming up with strategies for it, and then feeling good about the outcome, but not necessarily slowing down to make sure that the emotional piece of that, we're good at being efficient. We're not as good about being deliberate for what kids need.
Mm-hmm. So you do the wraparound services. You also mentioned that you do get into the alcohol and substance use issues. Mm-hmm. And I imagine, because I know there's a number of professionals at Center for Living that are involved in this, you probably get involved with some of the other departments there in coming up with some of the solutions there.
Yeah, and that is one of the great things about working at an agency as big as ours and with as many talented people as we have, is it really sets us up to have a lot of collaboration. With drug and alcohol work with youth, a lot of times they're not really, they're still teenagers, so they're invincible, if you let them tell you. They're not really in a spot where they're recognizing the long-term problems that they may be getting into. And so as much as we can involve kids in that work, and then there's a lot of collaboration as kids start to move into adulthood to make sure that that transition goes smoothly, that they're still set up with any of the services and supports that they might need. And we have a lot of flexibility. A lot of times kids are worried about turning 18, but really we can hold on to kids till they're 20, 21, if that is what seems like the best fit for both our services and for that client. So we have a ton of collaboration with the other programs, and have a lot of the same programs that the adult team has, just have them geared correctly for the youth that we serve.
Mm-hmm. Something else you also do is drop-in services. How does that work? Who tends to use those?
Yeah, the drop-in services are really great because we're able to have a pretty broad range of people that are allowed to come in. Obviously, we're working with younger kids, so we're looking for permission slips and things like that, but we can have kids that aren't necessarily in full services with us be able to come in, and it can be really helpful for some of those kids that have some needs that might be harder for, say, the school or other people to attend to. They'll be able to come in and they can have a meal. We have washers and dryers, so if that's something that they have a need for, we can support them with that. All of our drop-ins have safe spaces for them to take showers, to get access to some hygiene, things that we can't always see if we're not in the house. We don't know what's missing, but we can really set the kids up to have a lot of those basic needs supported. And then usually, it's fun, which is really what kids need too, is a safe place to have some fun and to make connections with other youth. So they spend time doing art projects and even playing video games. We're often in the middle of, Smash Bros. And Mario Kart competitions on any given day. So we have a space out in Sherman County. We work out of the Morrow Event Center so that we can provide it out in Sherman County. We have it in the building here in the Dalles, and then there's also a space that is set up in our Hood River office as well. So really have the same sort of access to all those needs for any of the kids that might need it.
You also mentioned, and this is something that I'm going to need a definition of, I have a feeling here, intensive community-based services. What does that mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, so that's not what you're going to think of when you think of traditional therapy, but this is for kids that are having some bigger issues that are going on. Oftentimes these are the kids that we're worried about losing placement in our community. Like they might be expelled from school, they might have a need to be in a residential or hospital setting, they might get kicked out of their house, any of those things. And so this is like our intensive care while they're still here in our community, trying to preserve the placements that they're in. So this program has both a therapist and a skills trainer, and these people can come pick a kid up from their home or from their school, and their therapy might look a little less traditional than we think of. We might be sitting at a park and talking about whatever therapeutic issues they're working on, and it can be multiple times a week to help these kids be safe and stay, at least have our best shot at preserving their whatever setting that they're in. Try to keep them in their home if that's the safe choice. Try to keep them at school. So we can literally go sit in a classroom if the teachers are up for that, to help a kid that maybe is really struggling to come from recess back into math. I would have a hard time with that too. So they can come join this kid for the last few minutes of their recess, come into the classroom, and then help them apply the coping skills that they've been talking about in their sessions in that very setting. Same thing in the home. They can come into the house, and maybe we're having a terrible time at bedtime or at meals. We can help and support both the parents or guardians and the youth with building and literally walking through and practicing routines that might help the bedtime hour be half an hour, or have less fights, or take out some of the stress and the fights and the things that might be happening. And so it really is helpful to be able to get into the home and see some of the space, help those kids really visualize and walk through and practice, and ultimately hope to de-escalate some of the things that, when kids are frustrated and parents are frustrated, then it can be really hard for those kids to get what they need. So helping them feel like they have some help right in the environment that they may be struggling with the most.
We have hit the wall in our time here this morning. Kalyn Sherwood's with us. Kalyn, as far as, do most of the clients you get, do they come by referral or they come in other means?
Some people come to us for referral, but you can walk right into any of our buildings or just call our main number and just ask for the kids services, and we can get you right in to have a screen and set you up with an assessment and see which of our services are a best match. So people can refer, and often do refer themselves anytime, and any of the day of the week you can come into any of our buildings and ask for that support. And
again, what is that main phone number?
Yep, the main phone number is 541-296-5452.
541-296-5452. Mid-Columbia Center for Living, serving Hood River, Wasco, and Sherman counties. Kalyn Sherwood, Behavioral Health Manager, has been our guest here. That went much better today. The phone held up.
Yeah, IT worked for us today.
IT did its job this time. Kalyn, thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Mark.
It is 8:52 in the morning on Mid-Columbia Today. We'll come back and wrap things up for you after this.
Hello, I'm Doug Stepina with the City of Hood River. As our community plans for the future, we're taking a close look at two important challenges. In an emergency, our police facility must remain operational even after a major earthquake or fire. Today, it does not meet modern seismic or backup power standards. At the same time, housing shortages continue to put pressure on the workforce that keeps our community running. This month, the City Council is considering whether to refer 2 general obligation bonds to voters this November to address these needs. Visit hoodriver.gov/bond to learn more and stay informed.
Built upon a solid foundation of cast iron and steel, the Kubota LO2 series features powerful Kubota diesel engines and easy operation. The durable Kubota LO2 series. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Sea Shepherds, 440 Riverside Drive, Hood River, your Kubota dealer.
Did you know Skyline Health in White Salmon has its very own sports medicine doc superstar? That's right. Dr. Ryan Petering trained at OHSU, cared for professional Nike athletes, and even spent more than 15 years teaching other doctors how it's done. From sporting injuries to arthritis, he's here to help you move better, feel stronger, and keep doing the things you love. Want to live life to its fullest? Step right up and visit myskylinehealth.org. Skyline Health, world-class care right here at home.
Buy your Hood River County Fair tickets in advance and save. Skip the lines and keep more money in your pocket by purchasing your tickets before the fair begins. Advance tickets are available at Hood River Supply in Hood River and Odell, Juanita's Mercata in Hood River and the Dalles, The Boys in Pine Grove, McIsaac's in Parkdale, Columbia Bank in Hood River, and the fair office in Odell. Don't wait. Buy early, save money, and we'll see you July 22nd through the 25th at the Hood River County Fair. Tune in weekday mornings at 8:05 and keep up with community events and issues with the Mid-Columbia Today Show on Mid-Columbia's news leaders, 98.3 FM and 1340 AM KIHR. Special thanks to our sponsors, Skyline Hospital, Eastside Paving, and Del Carpine Automotive.
Well, here's what's coming up on the show. As today, by the way, we wrapped up the Klickitat County Commission candidate interviews. We got one more Klickitat County Sheriff interview. That'll be tomorrow morning. Dwayne Matulovich is going to join us. Also, Marty Dane will visit, and she's going to do more than visit next week. She's going to sit in my chair and host Mid-Columbia Today next week while I'm gone. And on Monday, Port of Hood River Executive Director Kevin Greenwood's going to swing by. Plus, we'll talk to the Dalles Area Chamber of Commerce, and we'll talk to the new CEO, Lynn Cox. She, of course, has been tourism director there for a little while, and now she takes over as CEO. There's a new tourism director as well, obviously. And so we'll talk to Lynn about getting settled into her job. Tuesday, Hood River County School District Superintendent Bill Newton's going to be on the show. Plus, we're going to talk White Salmon Valley School, not White Salmon Valley Schools, White Salmon City. Mayor Marla Keeler is going to be here. We talked White Salmon Schools yesterday, of course. Wednesday, Mike Shen, Hood River County Education Foundation. They've got a concert coming up on, I believe, Friday or Saturday next week. I can't remember which. But they do have a fundraising concert coming up. And Julie Hester and Juan Reyes from Washington Gorge Action Programs will be here. Thursday, Lisa Commander, History Museum of Hood River County. I'll talk about what they've got going on in the latter part of summer. Boy, I'm already saying latter part of summer. That stinks. Also, Columbia Gorge Community College, Brian Despain is going to join us from their aviation technology program. He will be along. Going to talk about the new hangar they're getting put together out in Dallasport. On Friday, Lindsay McClure, next Friday, Lindsay McClure, Hood River County Energy Council. They've got a big event coming up the next day on the 25th at May Street with options that you have to be more energy efficient and resilient. And also, in the first half of the show, she's on the second half. First half, I just got the confirmation. Brenda Massey is going to be along. And Brenda is going to talk about the Child Care Partners Early Child Care Business Accelerator Program that's going to be starting up in August. So we're going to have Brenda on, and Marty will talk to her about that. So all that coming up on Mid-Columbia Today over the course of the next few days. And a reminder that Nights in White Salmon this evening over in White Salmon, 5 to 9, third Thursday of each month, downtown White Salmon. They got free live music and performances, artisan market as well. More information at explorewhitesalmon.com. And if you're over in the Stevenson area, Takohachi Duo, bringing the ancient art of Kamishibai to life. And I have no idea if I'm pronouncing this right, by the way. I could be butchering this completely. But it's the Japanese street theater tradition that weaves folk tales into a dynamic, interactive experience for all ages. 2 o'clock today over at the Stevenson Community Library. So you can check that out if you're over in Skamania County. We are done for today. I've just got one more show to vacation. A lot of work to do before I get there, like we all tend to experience. For Cameron Eisenberg, I'm Mark Bailey. Talk to you again on Friday.
Mid-Columbia Today Show is a public affairs presentation of Bicoastal Media Columbia River. The views expressed on the program are not necessarily those of the station, parent company, or of the sponsors. We welcome your suggestions for future shows. Call us at 541-386-1511. Listen to Mid-Columbia Today where you want. Follow or subscribe to Mid-Columbia Today wherever you download your podcast to get the show delivered every day to your mobile device.